My sister married my ex-fiance and asked me to give a speech. I gave one she will never forget. My sister Jody called me 8 months after stealing my fiance to ask if I would be her maid of honor. I really want you standing next to me, she said sweetly. It would mean so much to have my sister by my side on the most important day of my life. I told her I couldn't do it, and she started crying and handed the phone to our mother. You're tearing this family apart. My sister married my ex-fiance and asked me to give a speech. I gave one she will never forget. My sister married my ex-fiance and asked me to give a speech. I gave one she will never forget. My sister Jody called me 8 months after stealing my fiance to ask if I would be her maid of honor. I really want you standing next to me, she said sweetly. It would mean so much to have my sister by my side on the most important day of my life. I told her I couldn't do it, and she started crying and handed the phone to our mother. You're tearing this family apart, Mom said. Jody can't help who she fell in love with. You need to grow up and accept it. I agreed to give a toast instead just to end the conversation. I was then forced to attend a wedding planning session where Jod asked me to print her seating chart from her laptop. I opened her documents folder and saw a file labeled with my ex-fiance's name. Decided to open it and found emails and screenshots dating back to when he and I were still engaged and picking out Tim and wedding venues. I read every single one while my family laughed in the next room and pretended like nothing was wrong for the rest of. At night, the ceremony was at the same venue where I had planned to marry him. Which Jod said was just a coincidence when I confronted her about it. It's the nicest venue in the area. She told me with a little shrug. I'm not going to punish myself just because you couldn't make things work with him. I stood in the back and watched her float down the aisle in a dress almost identical to the one I had picked out too. Years ago. During the vows, he cried as he told her she had shown him what real love looked like. Outside looked right at me and smiled. At the reception, she grabbed my arm and pulled me aside. I hope your toast isn't going to be weird, she said. This is my day, and I don't want you making it about your feelings. I told her not to worry. And she squeezed my hand like we were best friends. Good, she said, because honestly, I just sped things up. She walked away before I could respond and clinked back her glass to announce my toast. I walked to the microphone. And 200 guests turned to watch me. Thank you all for being here to celebrate my sister and her new husband. It said warmly. I actually discovered something recently about Jod that I think everyone deserves to hear. May told an he said ill in her head slightly but kept smiling. I pulled out my phone and read the first email out loud. Hey Kyojin, she has always been clingy and obsessive. I'm planting seeds. Give me 6 months. The room went dead silent and Jod's smile vanished. That was from when I was still engaged to him. I said calmly, here's another one from 2 months later. I read it clearly and slowly. I made a fake dating profile using her pictures and matched with his coworker. Then I sent some messages that definitely crossed a line. He will see them eventually. The groom turned to Jod with confusion all over his face. What is she talking about? He asked. Jod grabbed his sleeve and tell me right now if this is true. Jod started crying and reaching for him. Baby, she made this up. Hey Kel, you know I would never do something like that. He pulled his arm away from her. Those timestamps match exactly when I started having doubts. He said quietly, you told me she was cheating. You showed me messages. His voice cracked. Did you fake those too? The groom's mother stood up from her table and pointed at Jod. I knew something was wrong with you.